Welcome to CityView. I'm your host, Marissa Monroy. When severe weather strikes or unexpected outages occur, being prepared can make all the difference. I talked to Austin Energy to take a closer look at how the utility prepares and how customers can stay ready for the unexpected. Today we're diving into a topic that's more relevant than ever, and I'm talking about power outages. Here to shed some light on the topic, pun absolutely intended, is Austin Energy's very own Matt Mitchell. Hey Matt, how you doing?
Doing great. Nice to see you, Marissa.
Good to see you as well. You know, we know wild weather can mean a lights out situation, but what are some other reasons for power outages?
Sure. So the most common reason, and the one we're pretty familiar with here in Central Texas, is high winds and severe weather. We get that from several times of year, and anytime you've got high winds and or severe weather, it can blow those trees and vegetation into our power lines, causing power outages. But there are a couple of other reasons why power outages occur. Number one would be vegetation. Number two would definitely be car crashes. Anytime a car accident happens in the vicinity of one of our power poles, it can knock out power to one of our neighborhoods or a couple of neighborhoods. And then we also have animals. That's always a fun one to try to explain, is when a squirrel or a snake or a possum, something crawls into something that's electrical and causes a huge short, and that can knock out power to customers as well. So part and parcel of living in Central Texas.
What are some basic things people can do to prepare for power outages?
Well, first and foremost, you want to have a plan. I mean, anytime there's a power outage, it can be a very stressful situation. I own a home, I'm an Austin Energy customer, and I have some young children, and it's always very upsetting when the power goes out. You don't know how long it's going to go out, so you want to make sure you have a plan. You want to make sure you talk to your family members about what to do in case there is an outage, where you need to go in case there is an extended outage. While that's unlikely, it does provide peace of mind if you know where you can go that will have power. You also want to make sure you have certain things on hand. You want to make sure you have a cell phone that's fully charged so that you can check in for outage alerts. You want to make sure that you have basic necessities on hand and any medications that a medically vulnerable person in your household might need.
So how are some ways people can keep their phones charged?
Well, you want to make sure that anytime you've got severe weather rolling in, that all your personal devices are charged. You want to have backup battery power in case there's an extended outage. Cell phones are a lifeline, computers as well, but especially cell phones, because so much of the information about a given emergency is sent out through text message from the city and other emergency organizations.
You know, one of the things you mentioned is that there are people that rely on power for medical devices, they have medical issues. Tell me about some resources available to those folks.
Well, Austin Energy and the City of Austin maintain a medically vulnerable registry, and by that we have an entire committee of people, part of our organization, that not only does outreach but also maintains communication through an emergency with those that may be medically vulnerable or in a situation where they need life-saving equipment to remain powered at all times. It's a fantastic service through the City of Austin and through our public utility, and it's easy to sign up for and learn more about at austinenergy.com.
What a fantastic program.
It is.
I'm taking a look at what's down here. Can you talk us through some of these things?
These are the basics, right? Anytime there's a power outage, you want to make sure that you got a flashlight. You want to make sure that you've got some portable backup battery power that you can plug in your personal devices. You want to make sure you've got some canned goods just to have some food just in case it's an extended outage, and then other illumination sources in case you lose battery power. That's just a couple of things to keep in mind and keep on hand in case we're in a situation where the outage is extended.
You know, you mentioned one of my favorite things, food. Let's talk about food and how long it stays safe in the fridge if the power goes out.
Well, you want to be really careful about that. Hopefully the outage is very short. Most of the outages that we have at Austin Energy are very short. They are no longer than an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours in duration. But beyond that, you want to make sure you're keeping your doors to your fridge closed and your freezer closed as well. When in doubt, throw it out. It's not worth taking a risk with spoiled food.
Okay, now that we know how people can stay safe, what is Austin Energy doing to prepare for storms and emergencies and power outages?
Austin Energy prepares for outages year-round. Spring, summer, fall, winter, it doesn't matter. Whatever Mother Nature's throwing at us or whatever happens in the Austin area, we're ready for that. We've got crews ready to respond. We're making sure that we're staffing up ahead of major weather events and are able to respond as quickly and safely as possible. The key here is making sure that you're staying in contact with us. Text messages are a great way to understand where the outage is and how long it might last, but you also want to make sure you know how to go to our outage map so that you can report it there, or by text or by phone.
Do line workers work in the elements, rain or shine?
Rain or shine all the time. They're already there, they're ready to roll. We've got trucks that are queued up to respond to outages, and they want to make sure that they're getting the power back on as quickly and safely as possible. Now, it's important to remember that our crews are out there working in the elements, the wind, rain, lightning. they need to do so safely as well. So if the storm is still here, if we are still seeing a lot of rain and a lot of wind and a lot of lightning especially, sometimes they can't get up in the bucket trucks until that is moved past. But their whole purpose is to make sure that they're responding to these outages and getting power restored as quickly and safely as possible. This is what they do, getting the power back on quickly for our customers.
How does Austin Energy decide whose power gets turned on first?
So we start with the big transmission lines. So anytime there's an outage, we want to make sure that our transmission lines that carry that really high voltage to our substations are perfectly repaired and intact. After that, we move to the substations, which take that high current and then make it lower current to distribute to our neighborhoods. Once those repairs are made, we move to those individual power poles and individual circuits. That is a very intricate process. It's not something that happens quickly, but we're prepared and ready to roll to make those repairs as quickly as possible.
It's a complicated process, which leads me to my next question, which is sometimes during a storm, I see that my neighbor across the street gets their power back, but I'm still in the dark. What's going on with that?
It's so frustrating when that happens. I've been in that situation. I've answered calls at the utility from people going, I'm looking across the street and my neighbor's got power. How do I not have it? The short answer is it's possibly because you're on a different circuit than your neighbor. We've got over 400 square miles in our service territory. That is a lot of circuits. It is a lot of pathways for electricity. So it could be that you're just on another circuit that hasn't been energized yet because of a fault somewhere along the line. It could also be that the fault lies somewhere in your home's energy infrastructure and not Austin Energy's. Could be at your breaker box. Could be something that on your side of the meter needs repair. So that is a frustrating situation. Again, I've been in that, but there's usually a plausible explanation. It's not because we're picking and choosing circuits.
How does Austin Energy communicate about power outages to its customers?
We're big on communication. I work in the communications office, so I know all of the channels that we use. First and foremost, social media is a great way to keep up with us during a major weather event or a major outage situation. Beyond that, text messages. You want to make sure that you are signed up, ready, and getting text messages because when there is an outage that may be impacting you, we're keeping you apprised of what the situation is, what the repairs are like, and how long it might be until you're restored to power. And finally, regular media. We're in constant contact with our media outlets all around Austin. So if you're getting text alerts or news or weather alerts from any of those major TV stations, that's a big help as well.
Matt, this is great tips to know year-round. Is there anything else we should know about before we wind up today?
As a public power entity, Austin Energy is all about our customers. We serve our customers. We're largely owned by the city of Austin. So what we want to do is make sure that we're responding well in any outage as responsibly, safely, and quickly as possible. That's our job.
Be ready, stay ready.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community, and the City of Austin is committed to helping them thrive. Hosted by the Small and Minority Business Resources Department, with support from the Financial Services Department and the Economic Development Department's Small Business Division, the second annual Small Business Connection Conference brought together more than 700 attendees, including entrepreneurs, exhibitors, and city representatives.
I can only imagine the people in this room probably feel like the city can and should do more to support small businesses, which are the backbone of our community.
Today we gather under the name Building Business, Building Community, which reflects our dedication to nurturing a supportive environment where both business and communities flourish together.
This is our second annual Small Business Connection Conference. We're really excited. We had about 300 registered participants last year, and this year we've doubled that to about 700.
Today we are bringing together prime contractors, city departments, and social support organizations across the city of Austin to network and build community and build business with our small, minority, and women-owned businesses.
We have vendors from the construction industry, from the IT industry. We have vendors that are engineers, architects. We have vendor services and procurement opportunities for all of those areas. So it's a wide variety of vendors that serve the city of Austin.
And we will be doubling the infrastructure at the airport. This is a $4 billion program. So for business.
We have $25 billion worth of infrastructure that is happening in our city in the next 10 years. And we want our small businesses in Austin to be a part of that growth.
Okay, we need to get you plugged in so that their businesses are aware. This event is important because sometimes small businesses don't know the wealth of opportunities with the city that the city offers, whether again it's electrical service, even party planning, even catering. So there's a wealth of opportunities in the city.
We really want to make sure that we're increasing the number of our certified minority and women-owned businesses that are capable of doing business with the city. So part of this event is trying to kind of grab these firms that may not be certified with the City of Austin, but have shown interest in some of the areas that we're working in, and try to get them back into the fold and try to make sure that, you know, they are certified as minority businesses, as women-owned businesses, as disadvantaged businesses. So we're really wanting to make sure we broaden that net for the city and increase the number of certified vendors overall.
If you're confused about what should I sign, what should I not sign, what should I return, reach out to us. We're going to help you.
Well, you have to start somewhere. And what we say is that when we bring resources to you, we need you as a business to show up. So when we talk about certification, we have our certification table here where you can come in and begin the process. We have our vendor registration, financial services. It's where you're able to say, this is the type of business that I have. How do I get registered so that I can receive the information about contracts?
And you guys are certified with me.
Yes, we're excited to be here because we are newly certified. We've been Hub certified for about a year now, but we recently became minority certified. We've got our DVE and our airport concessions. And it's just exciting to figure out how we can be used as a resource and how we can use the city to expand our services. And these type of events really help us understand how to utilize that and also network with the general contractor so that we can expand.
We're trying to get some innovative strategies for our clients on that end, so I'd love to connect with you on that.
So one of the things that we have in our conference title is the word connection. And that is really vital for any vendor. You need to have those connections, those relationships, those partnerships with the prime firms who are going to hire our smaller minority and women-owned businesses. So that connection process is all part of the handshakes, getting to know the vendors personally, leaving a business card, just making that initial face-to-face meeting. That will serve dividends for years to come.
I definitely felt like I accomplished a lot. I was able to talk to people that are in construction, people that are in government agencies that are also hiring vendors.
I don't think it can be understated how important contacts are. You know, for us, connecting with us, we're a City of Austin department, so connecting with central finance and making sure that you're a registered vendor, that's critical. But then also connecting with our primes. You know, we have the large contracting and design firms that are going to be in charge of building these facilities, but they're going to have dozens of subcontracting opportunities that they're going to let the community know about. But coming to events like this, connecting with us, making sure that we're exchanging business cards is important because we want to get to know the people that are going to work with us. So I recommend doing all of the above if you're a firm looking for opportunities to work with the airport.
It's really important that you attend these because in every one we have attended, we've made a contact. And so then we go home and we formulate those relationships and they have been very good.
What they were looking for.
I think sometimes we tell ourselves maybe we're not that big to be in a conference like this, or maybe what we specialize in is not something that is usually in a government contract. But I can say that I saw people that do catering, cleaning services, all the way up to construction managers, and just people that are just starting out in translation and different types of educational programs that they offer that sometimes can make a connection with companies you would never expect that are looking for those resources. So don't talk yourself out of taking an opportunity like this because you never know what connection you can make and also how inspirational it can be when you're just starting out.
Whether you're looking to get certified as a minority or women-owned business, discover funding opportunities, or connect with local and state resources, the City of Austin provides the tools and support you need to succeed. If you're ready to take the next step, Connect with the Small and Minority Business Resources Department on social media and online to learn more about certification, upcoming workshops, and resources offered to help your business grow. Since 2016, Alison Alter has represented Austin's District 10. We caught up with her to look back on her time in office.
I am so grateful to the residents of District 10 who put their faith in me twice to represent them at City Hall. Thank you for trusting me.
I'm finishing up my 8th year on council. I started in January of 2017. Being on council has been the hardest and the most rewarding job I've ever had. There are few jobs in your life where you get to make decisions that impact people's daily lives from the start to the finish of their day.
And to figure out a cadence that works with the students' schedules, and if they have
being able to solve people's problems, being able to be there for them in times of need, giving them confidence in city government, to understand that government can be a force for good. I think that's been a privilege and an honor. So I've had an opportunity to work with some really committed public servants, all of whom want to make Austin better and really try to problem solve and address some real challenges. I've had the opportunity to lead on creating 5 new fire and EMS stations, 2 of which are in my district. And also I joined council because I cared about parks and the environment. I'm really proud of the work that I've done in my district with respect to parks. I've also done a lot of work with our sexual assault response. I also led in creating our We All Belong initiative, which tries to improve our response to hate.
This is an issue that we as a community have to come together and say there is no place for hate in Austin and celebrate who we are.
Thank you for the privilege of a lifetime to serve you as your District 10 council member. I've learned a tremendous amount. I've met some amazing people. Hopefully I have left Austin a better place. And my hope is that Austin will live up to its aspirations in many areas of being a place where everyone can thrive.
Tens of thousands of people got up close and personal with the latest electric vehicles, e-bikes, scooters, and charging technology at the latest Electrify Expo right here in Austin. The event had something for everyone, from EV enthusiasts to those just curious about making the switch.
Why do you think people are so excited to be out here today?
Man, I think it's something new. Technology is evolving every day. I think people are enjoying what they see here.
If you had advice for someone that was thinking about going electric, what would you tell them?
It's less noise. It's less pollution. You don't have to worry about oil changes, spark plugs changes. There's almost zero maintenance with EV ownership.
In terms of the grid and the infrastructure, we'll get there. It's probably obviously not there. We have a gas station in every corner, but I think that little by little things are changing. We're gonna have more charging stations everywhere.
After being here today and seeing all the options that there are from an electric vehicle standpoint, I am definitely moving forward with getting electric.
And overall, we want to help the city as far as educating them and building awareness towards electric vehicle adoption. Austin Energy supports both commercial and residential incentive offerings. We have anything from electric bike purchases we help rebate, anything from a level 2 charger, DC fast charging. The objective is to give our customers as many options and opportunities as possible. So whether you're a person that does not like EV ownership as far as the mainstream, you rather just take an e-bike into an electric public transit, we want to support you with our program offerings. And of course, if you're in the market for a traditional electric vehicle purchase, again, we want to support you with our EV program offerings.
For more information about Austin Energy's electric vehicle program, check out ev.austinenergy.com. The City of Austin Housing Department partners with the community to shape a more equitable Austin and prevent the displacement of people through investments in affordable housing. For 50 years, Austin has secured federal funding through the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program, providing annual grants to strengthen communities and expand local opportunities. Using $8 million of CDBG funds, the city celebrated the opening of Balcones Terrace, a permanent supportive housing community for individuals exiting homelessness, as well as veterans, seniors, and others with extremely low or fixed incomes.
We're at Balcones Terrace, a Foundations Communities property, and we had a ribbon cutting.
Well, this is a very important project. It allows us to move in the direction that we desire to move, and that is to help people exit homelessness, as well as provide affordable housing for them.
This place is a lifesaver for people that need housing. So I was on the street at a terrible time in my life grieving. So I went unsheltered, then homeless, and now I am a full-fledged part of the community because of Foundations Communities.
It's an absolute honor and a privilege to know that HUD's money, that the money that the Biden-Harris administration has been fighting for the past few years is going to worthy projects like this one. Not just putting people in boxes, but building communities in Austin.
I think it's a shining example of what we're trying to replicate as it relates to trying to help people exit homelessness, as well as share with the broader community the need that there is here in Austin, and what we're doing as partners to help lift people up and help them transition back to just a quality of life that I think everybody deserves.
The City of Austin will continue work to help Austinites stay in Austin. Resources for affordable housing are available online at austintexas.gov/housing. Have you ever wondered about life after death? A visit to Oakwood Cemetery and the O. Henry Museum explores the intriguing connection between Athol Porter, wife of author O. Henry, and the 19th century spiritualism movement, a practice that offered solace during a time of profound loss following the Civil War.
Welcome to Oakwood Cemetery, a historic resting place in Austin. Many people believe that underneath this calm facade, restless spirits lurk. One of the notable people buried here is Athol Porter, the wife of the famed author O. Henry. A fascinating figure in her own right, Athol was a beloved wife and quite possibly a practitioner of spiritualism, an incredibly popular movement that swept through America in the 19th century.
Spiritualism was popular during Athol's era, primarily because it promised communication with the deceased loved ones at the time, when many people had recently lost family members to the Civil War. Here at the O. Henry family home, museum site coordinator Emily O'Connor sheds light on how they lived during the years leading up to Athol's untimely passing.
Hi, welcome to the O. Henry Museum. Come on in. Athol Estes Porter was born in Tennessee, and her family moved to Texas when she was quite young. She was a student at Austin High School, a senior when she met Will and fell in love with him. She was sick for most of her life with tuberculosis, and eventually she did succumb to tuberculosis on July 25th of 1897. This really shattered her family and her social circle, particularly her husband, William Sidney Porter. At that time, many consoled the grieving with the notion that Athol's spirit could be communicated with thanks to spiritualism. Spiritualism emerged in the 1840s in Hydesville, New York. Two sisters, Maggie and Kate Fox, claimed to be able to communicate with spirits. This movement resonated with a society eager for connection beyond the grave, especially as the Civil War was beginning and people were losing a lot of loved ones at that time. The 19th century was a time of great change, and many turned to spiritualism for comfort. It challenged traditional religious authority and provided a platform for women to speak publicly, which was a revolutionary concept at that time.
As families lost loved ones during the Civil War, the number of spiritualists soared. They sought closure through seances, yearning for one last message from those who had passed.
So here we have a pendulum board. This would have been a very common tool that was used in spiritualism. And the purpose of this board was to communicate with those who have passed away. And the way that you use it is you take a pendulum, which I have one right here, and the idea is this pendulum will point to the letters that comprise the message that the person who has passed on is trying to convey. So to start, you would hold the pendulum in the middle of the board, and you'd think of a question, and then you'll see the pendulum starts to swing. And it looks like the pendulum is swinging
T
toward the letter T, right? So we'll take the pendulum, touch it to the letter T, and then we'll ask, is that the letter that's trying to be conveyed? Is T the correct letter? And then you'll return the pendulum to the middle of the board. It will start to swing. It looks like it's swinging toward yes, so T.
As we continued seeking answers from the beyond, the word trot was spelled out through the seance board. Although the message was unclear, what happened next was truly hair-raising.
Were you trying to spell the word trot? Crazy. Yeah, we have Athel's saddle.
Athel's saddle's here?
Yeah. Are you happy that I brought back the hitching weight from storage? Because I did do that.
Yes.
Wow. We'll never know for sure, but Athel Porter's death may have inspired O. Henry to seek comfort in spiritualism, just as countless others did when they lost loved ones. Some stories even suggest that their daughter Margaret felt her presence and claimed that Athel visited her at night.
But, as with all movements, spiritualism was not without its critics. Magicians like Harry Houdini dedicated their lives to exposing frauds, insisting that true communication from the dead remained unproven. Though spiritualism waned in popularity, the legacy of figures like Athel Porter and her husband remains a haunting reminder of our quest for connection beyond the veil of death. Here at Oakwood Cemetery, we can only wonder if the spirits still linger, whispering their stories to any willing to listen.
To learn more about the 19th century author O. Henry and his wife Athel Porter, visit austintexas.gov/O. Henry Museum. That's it for this episode of CityView. Thank you for watching, Austin. As always, be sure to catch up on all of the latest information on atxn.tv, our YouTube channel, and on our webpage, austintexas.gov. Stay well, Austin.